On the edge of a quiet countryside village, where fields stretched far and wide, there lived a small brown puppy named Bruno. Bruno was not an ordinary puppy. He was filled with endless curiosity, joy, and the kind of dreams that most people would call impossible. Every morning, when the sun painted the sky with shades of gold and pink, Bruno would sit on a little patch of grass outside the old wooden barn where he lived. His eyes, shiny and full of wonder, always drifted upward. Above him, flocks of birds would glide through the air, their wings outstretched, their feathers glowing under the sunlight. Bruno's heart would beat faster whenever he saw them soar. "Oh, how free they look," he thought. "How amazing it must feel to fly above the world, to touch the clouds, to chase the wind." Bruno would wag his tail with excitement, but inside he felt a tiny ache. He wished he had wings. He wished he could fly. Bruno decided he wouldn't just sit and dream anymore. "No," he whispered to himself. "Today I'll try to fly." He ran up the little hill near the barn. It wasn't too tall, but to Bruno it felt like a mountain. The grass was fresh with dew, sparkling like tiny stars beneath his paws. Standing on the top, Bruno stretched his legs, raised his floppy ears, and flapped them wildly. He even puffed out his chest the way he had seen birds spread their wings. "Okay, Bruno," he said, "this is your moment." And with a brave little leap, he jumped. For a few seconds, Bruno felt the wind rushing past his fur. His heart leapt with joy. Maybe this time he was really flying. But then, thud! He rolled down the grassy hill, tumbling like a ball of fluff at the bottom. He landed in a pile of soft flowers. Bruno wasn't hurt, but his dream felt crushed. "I'll never be able to fly," he sighed. But Bruno wasn't the kind of puppy to give up so easily. If one attempt failed, he thought of another. The next day, he tied a bunch of big, colorful leaves to his back with a piece of string he found near the barn. "Now I have wings," he barked proudly. He climbed a wooden box, spread his leafy wings, and leapt off. For a moment, the leaves flapped, but then they tore apart, and Bruno landed with a little squeak in a haystack. Another day, Bruno tried balloons. He spotted some children playing with bright balloons in the village. He barked happily and chased them until a kind little girl tied 3 balloons to his back. Bruno wagged his tail, hoping he would rise. But instead of floating up, he just dragged the balloons around while the children laughed. "Oh no," Bruno thought. "Maybe I'm just too heavy for balloons." His heart sank, but his dreams never fully disappeared. One starry night, when the moonlight bathed the fields in silver, Bruno wandered to the edge of the forest. He sat there, looking up at the sky, sighing. "I wish I could fly, even just once," he whispered sadly. Suddenly, he heard a soft voice. "Why so sad, little one?" Bruno turned around and saw a magnificent owl perched on a branch. The owl's feathers glowed in the moonlight, and its eyes were wise and kind. "I want to fly like the birds," Bruno admitted. "But no matter what I do, I just fall." The owl chuckled softly. "Flying isn't only about wings," the owl said. "It's about the spirit inside you. You may not have wings, but you fly in your own way." Bruno tilted his head. "My own way? But how?" "Every time you dream, every time you make someone smile, every time your tail wags with joy, you are flying higher than you know." Bruno listened carefully. The owl's words felt like warm sunlight on his heart. The next morning, Bruno woke up feeling different. He didn't run to the hill to jump. Instead, he ran into the village to greet the children. He wagged his tail, barked playfully, and rolled on the grass while the children laughed. He realized their laughter lifted his heart, just like wings would. Later, Bruno saw a bird with an injured wing. Instead of feeling jealous, he gently guarded the bird until it recovered. The bird chirped in gratitude and flew again. At that moment, Bruno's chest swelled with happiness. Maybe the owl was right, he thought. Maybe flying isn't about reaching the sky. Maybe it's about lifting others, making hearts lighter. One evening, as the sun set in shades of orange and pink, Bruno sat on his favorite hill. Birds flew above, painting patterns in the sky. Bruno didn't feel sad anymore. Instead, he smiled. His dreams had changed. He closed his eyes, felt the wind on his fur, and imagined himself soaring alongside the birds. And even though his paws were firmly on the ground, his spirit flew high, higher than ever before. That night, as Bruno drifted to sleep, he dreamed not of wings, but of love, laughter, and kindness. And in that dream, he flew farther than he ever thought possible. Crescent moon moral of the story: true flight doesn't always mean wings. Sometimes, it means lifting hearts with kindness, joy, and love. Bruno discovered that dreams don't always come true the way we expect, but sometimes they give us something even greater.